Good evening, and welcome to the official commencement of Central High School's class of 2021. We did it! I am Principal Chris Testoni, and it is my honor and privilege to serve as today's Master of Ceremonies. I want to thank our audience members for joining us today as we celebrate this very special class. I'd also like to thank members of our faculty, stage participants, and the fine Now Arena staff who are here to help us celebrate. Thank you. Thank you to Assistant Principal McCaslin for coordinating with the Now Arena to make this event happen in such an impressive venue. Also, thank you to the CHS Student Services staff, headed by Mrs. Toledo, for their work in the arrangement of our program and the coordination of the student awards that have been presented to our seniors. Most importantly, I want to thank the Central Class of 2021 for being the incredibly special students and leaders you are. The culmination of your experience as a student in District 301 has been characterized by uncertainty. What is certain, however, is the amazing grace, dignity, and selflessness with which you have responded. There are so many examples of this that we cannot possibly recount them all. What is so amazing is the fact that despite the challenges of the last year that many of you and your families have experienced, you have never lost sight of your goals, while at the same time doing your part to protect the community. There is one example that I'd like to share with you that provides a powerful illustration of your commitment to your community, your families, and peers. Earlier in the year, I received a note of gratitude from staff in our Life Skills program because of the nature in which this very special senior has always gone out of his way to make these students feel special and part of the school-wide community. A little later in the year, I received a phone call from a parent who detailed how her son, this same student, because he was home on a remote learning day, literally saved her life by contacting 911 and providing immediate care to get her the life-saving treatment she needed as she became ill and unresponsive, without which she would not be here today to celebrate. These types of actions, accompanied with an infectious smile and unrivaled loyalty to his school and peers, serves as a lesson for all that individual accomplishment, while focusing on others, is all possible, even in the midst of adversity and crisis. Ryan Gillette, please stand and be recognized. You are an example of a true hero. Thank you, Ryan. So now, with those thoughts in mind, I'd like to officially start our ceremony by inviting all of our audience members and graduates to rise for the playing of our national anthem, performed by the CHS Chorale.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It is now my pleasure to introduce our Executive Student Council President, Naya Moore, to give our official student welcome. Naya, please come to the stage.
Good evening, administration, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, graduates. I could not be more pleased to be standing in front of you all today in as close to a normal ceremony as we could get. This has been a year of challenges, a year of entirely new circumstances. And if we've learned anything, we've learned when people come together, no matter your background, no matter your differences, we can make a big change. My fellow classmates, many of us have sat alongside each other for years, and some of us have never even crossed paths. As we begin this ceremony, I encourage you all to look around. Look at your friends, look at your teachers, and look at that person you may have only seen walking to your next class. Whether you were well known or hidden in the crowd, no one has gone unnoticed. No matter if you've created strong bonds or never even had a conversation, all of you have made a lasting impact that got us to where we are today. All of you have made a change here at Central High School. As last year's valedictorian Charlie Connors stated, this was not the year we wanted, it was the year we needed. We were taught patience, acceptance, and we were taught how to make the most out of little victories. We were taught bravery and compassion. And as I look at my classmates, I could not be more proud of how resilient our class has been throughout the years, but especially in a trying year such as this one. I want to take this opportunity to thank any healthcare or essential workers in the arena. Your bravery has not gone unnoticed. Thank you to the teachers who worked tirelessly to provide a proper education for us, students despite all the setbacks thrown their way. Even if it wasn't always shown, we greatly appreciate all your efforts. Fellow classmates, if there's anything I want you to take away from this speech, it's this. In no way has this year been easy. There have been many changes that have been difficult to adapt to, but your willingness to adjust to the constant disappointments we have faced this year says a great deal about our class's character. I want you all to take every lesson learned from this year as we go on with our lives and know you have the strength to continue on no matter the uncertainties you may face. Congratulations, class of 2021, and good luck on all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Naya. Now, I would like to welcome to the stage senior class co-presidents Gabrielle Nielsen and Reina Sandara to recognize this year's graduating class.
Welcome, class of 2021. Can you believe it? It's the day we never thought would come, our graduation day. This past year has felt like a never-ending cycle of hardships, but we pushed through as a class, and here we are, sitting in this arena with our classmates by our sides and our friends and family in the stands. Many of us have been together since kindergarten, whether you attended Prairie View, Country Trails, Lily Lake, or HBT. You've seen the same familiar faces every day for the past 13 years. It feels like just yesterday we walked the halls as timid little freshmen for the first time. Not only has our time at Central taught us to come together through the good and the bad times, but to also never lose sight of our pride in both our school and ourselves. In the end, we were taught to never lose our drive and ambition towards goals. These last 4 years may have flown by like none of us would have imagined, but here we have made friendships that will last a lifetime. As our final moments of being a Rocket come to an end, we prepare to say our final farewell. We will need to say goodbye to field days during elementary school, screaming our lungs off at Rocket Hill, homecoming week, and many more. As tough as it may be, the memories made in these halls will always be remembered and never forgotten.
When we leave here today, we must not only post photos and videos onto Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, but we must also focus on following our dreams and becoming the people we want to be. The French poet Anatole France once said, To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. As we start the next phase of our lives, we must remember that no dream is too big, and all accomplishments, no matter how small, are always worth celebrating. We are the leaders of tomorrow and have the power to make the world a better place for generations to come. So let us, the class of 2021, leave a path they can follow. Let us not settle for anything less than we deserve. Let us strive and attain our goals. It's up to all of us to make a difference, to have people say honorable things about us, and show the world that we never gave up on ourselves, especially during a pandemic. Society is counting on us. And remember, excellence is never an accident. It's the result of hard work. True opportunity never knocks. We have to go out and find it. And if we can't find it, we must create it. So, go forward, work hard, and attain excellence, the kind of excellence that will make our dreams a reality. We would now like to take a quick moment to thank our teachers, faculty, and staff for the time and dedication they have put into helping us become the fine young people we are today. We'd also like to thank our friends and family for their never-ending support. With that being said, despite everything that's happened this year, we are honored to say, congratulations, class of 2021, and good luck on all your future endeavors. As this chapter comes to an end, another opens up. Tonight is only the beginning of the rest of our lives.
Thank you, Gabrielle and Raina. Each year, a musical piece is prepared to help celebrate the graduating class. For this year's piece, CHS Chorale will perform Go the Distance under the direction of Miss Sarah Castro.
I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero
Thank you to members of our CHS Chorale for another outstanding performance. This year, 3 graduates have announced their commitment to service in the United States military. When your name is called, please stand and remain standing until all names have been read. Audience, please hold your applause until all names have been read. Tyler Esposito, Army. Eric Metz, National Guard. Tyler Wagner, U.S. Marine Corps. Please join me in thanking our students for their commitment to our community and country. Each year, we are proud to recognize our students who have graduated with honors. Please welcome Assistant Principal Sarah Farrington to recognize our students who have graduated with honors. Mrs. Farrington.
Congratulations, Rocket Seniors! We are so proud of you. Students graduating with honors and high honors have not only met the graduation requirements set forth by the Board of Education, but have exceeded them. First, we will recognize all of our students who have graduated with honors. These students have graduated with a cumulative GPA of 3.4 to 3.74. Students, when your name has been called, please stand to be recognized. Please remain standing until all the students' names have been read. Audience, please hold your show of recognition until all the names of the students have been read. Sarah Kelsey Aquino. Blake Airy. Isabel Auer. Anthony Azar. McKenna Barrett. Alexander Bauman. Zoe Blazier. Grace Camperone. Jonah Copre. Annalise Daniels. Colton Dean. Jersty DeVries. Kara Drummond. Marcos Escobar. Mary Miles Espiritu. Jacqueline Fernandez. Madison Figursky. Javarius Foreman. Mark Gonziano. Sophia Georgitsis. Presley Goldman. Olivia Grody. Lauren Head. Alyssa Hill. Usman Khan. Zane Khan. Emily Coe. Kyle Angelo Lapuz. Ellen Lenschow. Morgan Leone. Olivia Litton. Megan Malecki. Amalia Marquardt. Lauren Marigold. Eric Metz. Naya Moore. Joshua Nelson. Gabrielle Nielsen. Nora Onken. Jeet Patel. Fiona Padone. Amodni Punakar. Evelyn Rodriguez. Tristan Samuelian. Manuel Santiago. Rihanna Soni. Jacob Stanyek. Cooper Teets. Jonathan Ty. Alejandro Uribe. Aaron Van Buren. Sean Vachuaco. Dylan Wilmington. Zane Zucker. Congratulations to all of our students who have graduated with honors. Now we will recognize students who have graduated with high honors. These students have graduated with a cumulative GPA of 3.75 or higher. Students, when your name has been called, please stand to be recognized. Please remain standing until all students' names have been read. Audience, please hold your show of recognition until all the names of the students have been read. Emily Allers, Avery Anderson, Renee Becker, Samantha Berglund, Jennifer Bohr, Maria Lucia Busano, McKenna Cobb, Sydney Curtis, Braden Dean, Alexander Decker, Robert Dela Cruz, Jason Dela Cruz, Grant DeRate, Lauren Dowd, Amber Jewel Francisco, Nathan Guy, Isabella Hartman, Caitlin Hayden, Heidi Helsper, Amy Hernandez Lozano, Carolina Hintz, John Haracha, Ryan Hunt, Vince Johnson, Aaron Jossert, Ethan Kono, Philip Konstantinov, Olivia Martinelli, Maggie McCoy, Kaylee McElmurray, Lauren McGuire, Elizabeth McKay, Sydney Messina, Kayla Michalowski, Haley Modloff, Jessica Nelson, Elizabeth Nybert, Kelsey O'Connor, Reagan Aller, Kyra Petchke, John Randolph, Sarah Schambach, Gerald Schroeder, Amanda Scholes, Trevor Scher, Jackson Stoneman, Raina Sandara, Rebecca Swanson, Gavin Underhill, Jake Vanoss, Ashley Walker, Ashley Werner, Hope Wojciechowski, Colin Roble, Zoe Zeros, Sonia Zadie, Lauren Zwemke. Congratulations to all of our students who have graduated with high honors. What a remarkable achievement. Great job, you guys.
Thank you, Assistant Principal Farrington, and congratulations to all our students who are graduating with honors and high honors. Great job. In keeping with our Central High School tradition, our salutatorian and valedictorian each year are asked to select a faculty member to formally introduce them at commencement. And so, to introduce this year's salutatorium, please welcome to the podium Mr. Jim Strike.
Good evening, parents, families, friends, and graduates. It is my honor and privilege to introduce this year's salutatorian, Mr. John Randolph. I have known John Randolph for his entire high school life, which is about 22.2% of his overall life. In those 704 days of school, 20 days of 12-hour band camps, 56 Tuesday night rehearsals, 12 concerts, 2 months or so of remote learning, and 1 Disney trip, John Randolph has made someone smile hundreds of times, made someone laugh thousands of times, and has been there for someone countless times. You see, his friends will tell you John is the person who brings people together. His laugh is infectious, his humor as well, dry, but this is the authentic John Randolph. One time on a field trip to see the musical Newsies at the Marriott Theater, John sat next to an older woman he did not know. Being the John Randolph, I'm sure he engaged her in conversations about existentialism or development of scenic design. By the end of the show, the woman told John to tell his parents that they had a very nice son. This is who John is, somebody anyone can talk to. John Randolph is a true Renaissance man. He will be attending the University of Illinois in the fall, studying pre-engineering with an emphasis on computer science. He plays the clarinet and piano. One of my favorite memories is of John playing the theme from The Office at one of our coffee house events. Now, John may not admit it, but he is a great dancer as well. We've seen him flex his dance skills as a past member of Vocal Velocity, in parades, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and drumline cadences, and of course, leading the clarinet section in Hey Baby, the dance. It's no secret, John is also a tech wizard. He loves making movies. His friend Jake tells a story about a multimedia production class they took together. John was so fast at working, he would complete multiple units ahead of time, and then he would create his own, much more entertaining content for the class to watch. And they would laugh and laugh and laugh. This is John Randolph. He has the uncanny ability to say the funniest possible responses for any situation. If I were going to compare John to a superhero, Marvel, of course, it would be Doctor Strange. John is a very conscientious and deliberate person. He is hardworking and dedicated to whatever path he has decided to travel. Like Doctor Strange, John will contemplate every path forward to find the right one. The heart of Doctor Strange's journey is surrendering one way of thinking and adopting another. It mostly revolves around his rational approach. There's a mild subtext of faith in his journey because he has to let go of the established way of thinking, but he never allows it to come down to blind faith. His faith is always evidence-based. His thirst for knowledge remains present, whether looking through forbidden books or surfing a crazy number of timelines to search an answer. John is a knowledge and truth seeker. He loves to deconstruct the world, and he lives in the why, in the search for the deeper meaning. But John's superpower, his true superpower, is his dedication to his friends and family. His friends talk about how he is the one that is always there for them. They talk about he is the one person who brings people together. In our world today, John Randolph is the person we should all learn from. Now, John is humble, caring, dedicated, conscientious, brilliant, hilarious, and 1,000 other words. John has taught those around him hard work, dedication, and determination is the foundation for success. And trust, respect, and compassion are the building blocks for greatness. Ask his friends, and each can give a moment they will always remember. I have no doubt that John would rather work by himself in a cubicle, but I know he is the superhero to change the world. Even if he has to cogitate 14,605,000 possibilities to find the one path forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's salutatorian, Mr. John Randolph.
That's cool. Students, staff, family, and friends, I am honored to be standing before you today as the salutatorian of the Central High School class of 2021. I'll preface by saying that I know no one attended this ceremony because they were thrilled to hear the thoughts of the guy in second place, so I promise I'll try to keep it short. I'd first like to thank my incredible family for their unwavering support over the past 4 years, even despite my sometimes less than ideal attitude. Thank you also to my incomparable friends, without whom I'd never have made it through the unique journey that is high school. Thank you to the CHS staff for their admittedly eccentric but nonetheless inspiring approach to education. And thank you to all others for the work you've put in that has made a day like this possible. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed. It feels surreal that this is our last experience as high schoolers. People always say that high school flies by, that it goes faster than you could ever imagine, and that you'll miss it when it's over. Well, the truth is all of those people are full of it. Well, I should clarify, they're not wrong in every sense. When you finally reach the summit of the proverbial mountain that is high school and you look down below, it feels like this is where you've always stood. How could it possibly have taken long to get there? But if you were to actually remember what it was like climbing that mountain, you'd remember the time when there was an avalanche, or the days where you sat in the snow doing nothing for 8 hours, or that one time where you climbed for a week straight and you lost one of your shoes and you dropped all your supplies, and also you had to take a United States history test. Point being, high school is not always the easiest thing to go through. It certainly doesn't feel like it flies by in the moment. You're subjected to seemingly endless homework, a barrage of extracurricular activities, and achievement tests that are said to determine your success for the rest of your life. And that's not even to mention the ridiculous social dilemmas that everyone's life is filled with for whatever reason. Between you and success stands more obstacles than seems imaginable. And yet, somehow, once you write your last essays and solve your last math problems, and once you conquer your finals and SATs and constitution tests, and once you finally wrap up your GHS and SHS and NHS and peer leaders and student council and sports and music activities, and once you finally get to leave that godforsaken parking lot behind forever, how is it possible that we look back and say it flew by? Maybe it's because the school we now leave as seniors feels almost entirely different from the one we entered as freshmen. There is, of course, no diminishing the devastating effect that the coronavirus had on the lives of every person in this room. Yet even outside of this world-halting pandemic that wreaked havoc on our years as upperclassmen, Central High School went through so many renovations during our time there, both physical and otherwise, that it feels impossible for it to be the same place. We were one of the last classes to call it the new wing, eat lunch at tables instead of chairs, or focus on lectures through the noise from the fieldhouse construction. We were one of the last classes to have occasional late starts, sit in the LMC for early releases, or go to 8-hour study halls an entire school. We were one of the last classes to truly experience Central Celebration, sit through a block class, enter through door 4 before it was door 8, walk through carpet-floored hallways instead of tile-floored ones, or pass by the giant steps that the seniors sat on in the Commons. We might as well be saying goodbye to a different place. Today is a day filled with mixed emotions for many. At the risk of sounding trite, I'd say it's certainly a bittersweet moment. But regardless of how we feel about it, our high school lives are over. And knowing that, I ask, what now? This period of time is so often filled with questions about our future, but sometimes we get so caught up in frantic prospection that we forget to take a moment to reflect, a moment to think back on how far we've come. So what can we take away from high school? Well, firstly, never sell yourself short. So often high school can feel expected or routine, but it took a lot of work to get through it. Regardless of how matter-of-fact it seems in this moment, it was a journey to get to where you are now, and one that you should be proud of. Secondly, be prepared for change. Commencement speeches are typically about the future, but honestly, I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. According to everything I can glean from other people's anecdotes, if high school is climbing up the mountain, then everything after is you being kicked down the other side, sending you tumbling violently into a pit of fire. With so much having changed in the very recent past, it seems almost impossible for any of us to predict what's going to occur from this point forward. If you had asked anyone in this room what they thought the future held 4 years ago, I can guarantee that no one would have been able to predict the absolute nightmare that lay ahead of us. With any luck, we might never have another COVID-19 pandemic in our lifetime. But we will most certainly have another German too, and nothing said unpredictable like a class with Herr Euler. There will always be change in the world. But thanks to our rather tumultuous history, I think that we as the class of 2021 are uniquely prepared for that. And lastly, high school isn't totally useless. As much as I like to complain about the banalities of the day-to-day experience, it is undeniable that these past 4 years have changed all of us in one way or another. Now, thankfully, the majority of us aren't going to need to recite the quadratic formula at any point in the entirety of our adult lives, although I'm sure many of you could. But speaking as someone who evidently takes academics relatively seriously, that's not the most important part of high school. By all means, commit yourself to your classes, but don't let yourself be defined by your grades, because in the long run, no one is going to care what you got on that English quiz one time in sophomore year. It is, at least by my measure, far more important to learn how to advocate for yourself, how to meet new people, how to manage your time, and how to step outside of your comfort zone than it is to memorize the unit circle. The skills you've gained, things you've achieved, and lessons you've learned are what will truly have an impact on the rest of your life, no matter what path you choose. On that note, I'd like to wrap things up with a few final lessons that I've learned in high school that I think are worth sharing. If you rolled your eyes just now when I, an 18-year-old, said that I wanted to share life lessons with you, fair enough. But this is a tried and true cliche of commencement speeches, so in the spirit of reflection and despite being incredibly underqualified, I might as well give it a shot. 1, don't agree with everyone for the sake of agreement, because people are often wrong. 2, although you will meet many people you won't get along with, you will meet very few people who don't bring anything to the table. 3, it is much easier to get people to listen if you can make them laugh first. Well, that's a bad sign. 4, correlation does not indicate causation, and you should be very careful not to believe or imply that it does. And 5, it is often very tempting to justify an unhealthy behavior rather than change it, but that is rarely the best path to take. Everyone has the capacity to change for the better, and in my opinion, a penchant for self-improvement is one of the best qualities you can have. Thank you all for allowing me to speak today. Not that most of you had much of a choice, but thank you for not booing me off the stage in any case. High school might not be as easy or as quick as people say it is, but it can certainly feel that way when you leave. Things might be constantly changing in life, but that doesn't mean you can't come prepared. The traffic in the parking lot might always be terrible, but that doesn't take away from the great times we had at that building that's so difficult to leave, both figuratively and literally. Thank you once more. I wish you all the best, and congratulations to the senior class of 2021.
Thank you, John. And now, to introduce this year's valedictorian, please welcome Mrs. Michelle Sinevy to the podium.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Michelle Sinevy, and the last time I was in this arena was many years ago. It was a hot ticket, much like the one you have here today, and I was lucky enough to have 4 of them. Of course, I'm talking about the Thomas the Train Show. You laugh, but I mention this for 2 reasons. First, my son is also a senior, so I bet some of you were in this very arena watching the same Thomas the Train Show that I was. Second, I never thought I would actually be on this stage in this arena. Talk about pressure. However, this pressure is nothing compared to the pressure of being first in your class. Braden Dean was not only in my honors pre-calculus class, but also a starter and leader on the varsity scholastic team, as well as a medalist on the math team, both of which I coach. He is one of those students who causes his teachers a moment of panic when he raises his hand. It would always start with a thoughtful gaze, followed by the slow hand raise. How I dreaded that slow hand raise. It could only mean one of 2 things, because if he actually had an average, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, throw-me-a-bone type of question, he wouldn't be raising his hand. He would just think about it later and answer the question himself. So it either meant that I made a mistake, but we all know that that never happens, which leaves us with the only real and remaining daunting possibility. It meant that he had an unconventional, ambitious, arduous, formidable type of question, AKA a real doozy, and he was pondering it for days and days and was about to ask me in front of the entire class. Without anywhere else to turn, Euler, I would call on Braden. In the words of my retired colleague, Andrea Kyle, there are students who are smarter than us. Luckily, we just know more than they do right now. So I would cross my fingers and hope I could answer whatever question Braden had for me that day. and luckily another crisis could be averted. Braden is an exceptional student who consistently challenges himself, his classmates, his teachers, making us all better in the process. He is the top math student in our school, earning the Certificate of Achievement in Math all 4 years, absolutely ready for college coursework, and I am very confident that he will continue his success in the future. Braden has earned an impressive cumulative grade point average while taking rigorous coursework, including 8 honors and accelerated classes, as well as 11 advanced placement classes. As a member of our math team, he individually earned 3 first-place medals and 1 second-place medal, as well as many team medals. He was also a 2-time member of the ACES team, which stands for Academic Challenge in Engineering and Science, formerly the WISE team. He placed in the top 2 at regionals and sectionals in the categories of math, physics, and computer science. Most notably, Braden finished second in the state competition this year for math. He is also a member of the Marching Band, National Honor Society, and Tech Club. This state scholar will be studying nuclear, plasma, and radiological engineering at the University of Illinois, and is the recipient of the AIM High Grant and the Nuclear Engineering Education Scholarship. Of course, becoming valedictorian requires intelligence and hard work. However, Braden is also honest, humble, and kind. In speaking with his parents at the academic banquet, they agreed that Braden has worked incredibly hard throughout his high school career, putting in countless late nights, and truly has earned this well-deserved honor. I can confirm the late nights. I have received several responses to my Scholastic Bowl emails with middle-of-the-night timestamps. After a few 2 or 3 a.m. emails, I scolded him and told him he needed to get some sleep. So, of course, the next email I received came in at 4 a.m. When I questioned him, he smiled, under his mask, of course, but I could still tell. He said he didn't stay up late, he woke up early. His dedication to success, even during this challenging year, is unmatched. When I think of Braden, I'm reminded of some Tim McGraw lyrics. I'd sing them for you, but no one wants that. Besides, I only sing the quadratic formula song. But they go something like this. When you get where you're going, don't forget turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. While his 4 years may have seemed effortless, they actually required tireless dedication and perseverance. I am proud to have been witness to this, honored to have shared in his incredible journey, and hopeful that I, along with his family, friends, and teachers, have played a small role in his success. This accolade is well-deserved, and it is my privilege and honor to introduce your valedictorian for the class of 2021, Braden Dean.
I would like to start off by thanking many of the people here tonight. I know I would like to thank my family, as well as everyone else's families, for being there over the years. I would also like to thank the teachers here tonight, as you all not only have helped us do academically, but also have been responsible for many of the things we do outside the classroom, which is something I'm sure we're extremely thankful for, especially this year, which I'd imagine was a huge undertaking given the circumstances. Now, a little bit over a year ago, I was walking out of the school with a friend of mine. We were having your typical high schooler conversation, mainly complaining about how much work we had to do, which we didn't want to do, all within only a couple of weeks. Among our grievances, we had to write not 1, but 2 essays for Mr. Groom. We were busy with a few extracurriculars, and on top of this, we had to finish our NHS applications. Towards the end of our conversation, I told him something. I told him that I believed in 2 weeks, the day NHS applications were due and done with and turned into Mr. Pierce, the year would get a whole lot better. After all, that day seemed perfect. On that day, we would be finished with many of the obligations we were facing at the time. On that day, we would be done with many of the ongoing assignments we were currently dealing with. On that day, we would have, at least for a little while, time to breathe. That day was Friday, March 13th, the day the school closed for the remainder of the school year. This has become a far more important speech than I've ever anticipated giving. In just a blink of an eye, our entire world changed. And when it comes down to it, nothing I can say tonight can replace everything we've lost from our senior year. We didn't just lose a single year of high school, we lost the most important one. We lost the year that was supposed to be our year. We lost the year we spent 12 long years working towards. Over the past 439 days, we missed out on 1 homecoming, 2 proms, and many of the events which allow us to have fun during a time of extreme stress. Many of the activities we have devoted ourselves to over the past few years, we only got to experience virtually, and not to mention many of us here tonight, we either barely or never got to see every day. It all just seems like this year was the worst year to graduate high school. Despite all of this, the amount of hard work I've seen many people here tonight put in just within the past couple of months is incredible. In only a couple of months, many of you have engaged in a whole year's worth of extracurricular activities while simultaneously having to balance work, AP testing, college decisions, and far more. How passionate many of you are for the stuff you do is admirable, and how much time many of you spend outside school doing this stuff is something I'm personally envious of. It's clear that the situation we are in has definitely not killed the drive many of you have had over the past few years, and I think that even if this year is far from what we imagined it would be, we made it through rather successfully. Now, even though we've all worked hard the past 12 years working up to this moment, to not only graduate, but to be able to move on to much bigger and better things, for me, I feel a hesitancy to leave this place. It may just be to do how much we have missed, but this school, despite how it may make us complain, moan, and hope for another fan to break so we can chill in the CMS gym for 4 hours, is where we've gotten to know each other and interact and make so many memories. And to leave right now would just feel slightly too soon. There will be no more fire alarms during homecoming. We won't get to hear any more of Mr. Davies' great golfing analogies, or when Mrs. Kyle would constantly shout CP, CT, C, and no longer will we walk the halls together surrounded by the blue and white, or after the recent renovations, gray and lighter gray. It may just seem like this year in particular has been a chaotic mess, but I think our high school and career in general has shown that life can be full of twists and turns, whether it be your freshman year English class having a long-term sub, or your sophomore year English class having a long-term sub. In all seriousness, I think that throughout our years here, regardless of many of the limitations within the past year, we have made many of the unique memories together, which will be hard to replace. Even though we may have not interacted with some of the people sitting here tonight in a long time, I think each of us, with the friends we have chosen and the groups we were a part of, have hopefully had some pretty impactful experiences. All of this takes me back to something Mr. Regitano has said in health class at the end of our first semester freshman year. He had told us how the next 3.5 years would fly by fast, quicker than we would ever expect. Now, I realize John may have been calling me out a bit there, but I think those words have been truer than he ever meant them to be. Looking back on high school, it feels as if it just flew by. And to be clear, it was certainly not. High school was the biggest time investment we've had over the past 4 years. But doesn't it seem rather cruel that even after that hard, grueling work, when we look back on it, it just doesn't feel long at all? Worst of all, we realize all the things we regret from our high school experience. There are many opportunities I personally wish I would have taken, and there's so many things I wish I had done differently, which is a pretty bad revelation to have during the 1 year that there's little to do about it. But regardless of what we wish we had done, we have all changed as people since we were freshmen. I certainly wouldn't trust a person who says they haven't. The things we should have done, the things we shouldn't have, the things we should have said, the things we shouldn't have, the people we should have talked to, the people we, well, maybe shouldn't have. I think all these show how much we really, truly have changed over the years. I think that's one of the most important things to have gotten out of high school, even if it wasn't necessarily the most pleasant experience. But from here on out, we now have complete control over our lives. What we decide to do within the next few years will certainly shape us, and in a few years we may look back at ourselves now, how we look back at ourselves when we were freshmen. Who we are now is in no way who we'll become in the future, and we still have many more opportunities to do the things we wish we had done throughout high school. Even if the past 4 or even 12 years didn't go the best for you, you now have the rest of your life to become who you want to be. I wish you luck in your journey forward, and I hope you follow something you're passionate about. We've all been through a lot this year, and even if we won't be able to get any of it back, we certainly won't lose everything we've learned in this insane year. In the future, I'm sure all of you will face hard times, just like the one we are facing right now. But your future struggles probably have been experienced by someone else before, someone who can give advice, someone who knows what to do, and someone who knows that things will get better. Right now, none of that is the case. No one has experienced this before, no one can give advice, no one knows what to do, and no one knows if things will get better. But if we can get through this, I believe we can get through any struggles we face in the future. Whatever your plans may be after high school, I wish you all good luck. While years from now, the memory of this experience will only be small, disjoint fragments, and we very well may not remember the names of most people here, what we've been through has certainly shaped us. Even though this year has been far from ideal, we made it to the end. Congratulations, class of 2021. You all deserve it.
How about one last round of applause for Braden and John? Members of the Board of Education and Superintendent Stern, as principal of Central High School, I certify that the members of the class of 2021 presented this day have met all of the requirements for graduation as stipulated by the District 301 Board of Education. Therefore, I proudly recommend that they be presented with their diplomas memorializing this achievement. And to accept this formal certification of the class of 2021, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Todd Stern, Superintendent of Schools.
Good evening and congratulations to you, the Central High School class of 2021. Each Central 301 graduating class before you has left a lasting legacy in the history of Central 301 and carry with them the lifetime memories of their time in school. Starting in March of 2020, your school experience changed in a way no one anticipated. You have lived through many disruptions to a, quote, normal school year. You experienced remote learning, mask wearing, social distancing, contact tracing, quarantine, Google Meet sessions, delayed athletic seasons, and the list goes on and on. I can confidently state that you experienced a senior year like none other before you. Yet, in spite of these challenges, you have consistently adapted and overcome what life has thrown at you, and I am confident that you will continue to do so throughout your life. Thanks are in order to your outstanding faculty for providing an excellent educational experience for each of you, and I wish a warm welcome to parents and honored guests joining us today. Thank you, Principal Testoni, for the introduction. And thank you for the outstanding job your team and staff of Central did in preparing this next group of leaders for future challenges and experiences. Here's the big part. On behalf of the Board of Education and the community that is Central 301, I formally accept this as the Central Class of 2021. Through your 4 years at Central High School, you have exemplified what it means to be a Central Rocket. You have accomplished much in your years at Central Schools, and now that chapter has come to a close. You should be excited for the next chapter in your life. Whether you attend college, vocational school, join the armed forces, or enter the workforce, your Central experience helped shape your future and equipped you with the skills to take on a leader's role in your family, in your vocation, and in your community. I would like to express how proud I am to be associated with such an outstanding group of graduates. The supportive community of families and staff in Central 301 provided you for the opportunities to learn. It was the educational opportunities you experienced, both in curricular and extracurricular areas that made it possible for you to have the success you have experienced during your years in Central Schools. Not everyone maintains strong memories of their high school graduation, but this one will be hard to forget. I hope you take with you the many fond memories, your time attending Central Schools, and that you've made friendships that will last a lifetime. I look forward to following your continued college and career accomplishments. Thank you and congratulations.
Okay, we have reached the time in our ceremony during which we will award diplomas to the graduating class. Before we begin, I would like to share with you how we will proceed. We will be inviting graduates onto the stage row by row. Graduates, remember to have your name card with you to present to the reader. Once your name is read, you will walk onto the stage to receive your diploma cover. As you notice, please stop for a picture before you exit the stage. Parents, we do have professional photographers, as you can see, so we ask that you remain seated in your area during the reading of names. As student names are read, we ask that your recognition of each graduate be brief so that every student's name can be heard. At the conclusion of our ceremony, audience members will be dismissed from the arena to their vehicles. Graduates will remain on the arena floor, seated until all guests have exited. During this time, graduation materials will be distributed to each graduate. Once this occurs, graduates will exit door 4 to meet their party on Hoffman Boulevard. Each year, 2 members of the faculty are chosen by the graduating class to serve as formal name readers. This is a distinct honor for our faculty, and it is a show of appreciation to our graduates to allow them to choose this special commencement role. It gives me great pleasure to invite these 2 faculty members to take their places on the stage. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Matt Groom and Mr. Dave Semin.
Would the first row of graduates please stand as we prepare to begin our presentation of diplomas. Isabel Kayla Auer.
Emily Lynn Allers.
Sammy Dario Awad.
Avery Lynn Anderson.
Anthony Subhi Azar.
Philip Jojo Apo.
Remy Ross Baca.
Sarah Kelsey Orfrecio Aquino.
Brooke Ann Barcosi.
Clemente Aranda Jr.,
McKenna Heather Barrett.
Julian Aranda,
Alexander Everett Bauman.
Blake Lee Airy,
Matthew James Bazookas.
Jarrell Aaron Estudillo,
Michael Patrick Bazookas.
Renee Linda Becker,
Jeremy Christian Brennan.
Samantha Francis Berglund,
Catherine McKenna Burke.
Zoe Judith Blazier,
Maria Lucia Bassano.
Zachary Ryan Blum,
Kyla Flanagan Butler.
Elijah Michael Bohr,
Montserrat Cabello.
Jennifer Ann Bohr,
Natalie Michelle Capitello.
Jacqueline Faith Borman,
Derek Richard Capps.
Jacob Charles Borman,
Anthony Juan Castro.
Richard Dean Saganik,
Bray James Cheney.
Abigail Morgan Clark,
Samantha Page Crosby. Oh, great, thank you.
Brody Daniel Clark,
Caitlin Marianne Cummings.
McKenna Rose Cobb,
Sydney Nicole Curtis.
Jonah Benjamin Copray,
Annalise Rebecca Daniels.
Grace Cambridge Camperone,
Mackenzie Rose Dans.
Gala Isabella Contreras,
Maxwell Alexander Davis.
Maggie Catherine Kramer,
Braden Royal Dean.
Robert John De La Cruz.
Colton Jack Dean.
Jason Dennis De La Cruz.
Alexander Carl Decker.
Christina Delgado.
Lauren Elizabeth Dowd.
Grant Desiree DeRate.
Kara Elizabeth Drummond.
Jersty Noel DeVries.
Damian Christopher Dumel.
Joseph Bruce DiBartolo.
Evan Clark Dunham.
Tyler James DiDomenico.
Marcos Solis Escobar.
Kyle Joseph DiFiore.
Ernie J. Sanchez Espino.
Madison Christie Figursky.
Mary Miles Gabrielle Espiritu.
Javarius Deshaun Foreman.
Tyler James Esposito.
Amber Jewel Aguirre Francisco.
Jacqueline Rose Fernandez.
Charles Gordon Freeman.
Ryan Daniel Gillette.
Madison Rose Gagliano.
Andy Brenda Gilmore McGuire.
Leslie Gallegos.
Jack Parker Gilroy.
Mark William Gonziano.
Presley Marie Goldman.
Sophia Christine Georgitsis.
Michael Angelo Gonzalez Jr.
Rebecca Lynn Harbeck.
Gordon Donnelly Gray.
Alexander Aiden Harmon.
Olivia Eva Grody.
Kaylee Elise Harmon.
Nathan Alexander Guy.
Isabella Catherine Hartman.
Daniel Arturo Guzman.
Andrew Thomas Haviland.
Heidi Ann Helsper.
Caitlin Alexis Hayden.
Amy Valerie Hernandez Lozano.
Jacob Randall Haynes.
Cole Dalton Herman.
Lauren Rose Head.
Alyssa Janelle B. Hill.
Nathan Jimmy Hughes.
Carolina Danielle Hintz.
Rachel Lee Hughes.
Benjamin Michael Herschel.
Ryan Lewis Hunt.
John Alexander Haracha.
Matthew Samuel Ibanez. Sorry.
Joshua Robert Hubner.
Muskan Obeid Ibrahim.
Gabriel Armando Huerta.
Miles Joseph Janicek.
Evan Matthew Kang.
Vince Patrick Johnson.
Maya Nicole Cava.
Aaron Lynn Jossart.
Usman Ahmed Khan.
Haley Marie Lakowski.
Zain Mohammed Khan.
Stephen Daniel Langton.
Maxwell Edward Kling.
Kyle Angelo Lapuz.
Emily Coe.
Matthew Joseph Lawson.
Ethan Ichiro Kono.
Dylan Timothy Lee.
Philip Boyanov Konstantinov.
Joseph Nicholas Lamaster.
David James Kozar.
Ellen Lorraine Lenschow.
Olivia Ryan Litton.
Morgan Noel Leone.
Cassidy Faith Lloyd.
Emma Lily May.
Jacob William Lowe.
Maggie Constance McCoy.
Chase Lawrence McDonald.
Kaylee Elizabeth McElmurray.
Joshua Bryce Madsen.
Lauren Marie McGuire.
Megan Patrice Malachi.
Elizabeth Ann McKay.
Amelia Grace Shinben Marquardt.
Justin Paul Marigold.
Hunter Blake Martin.
Lauren Margaret Marigold.
Olivia Kate Martinelli.
Sydney Catherine Messina.
Eric Nathaniel Metz.
Elizabeth Claire Nybert.
Kayla Ashton Michalowski.
Gabrielle Choi Nielsen.
Juliana Miranda.
Joshua Anthony Nikolaichuk.
Hallie Michael Modloff. Naya Riley Moore.
Kelsey Ann O'Connor.
Grant Adam Morris.
Evan Michael O'Leary.
Jessica Reese Nelson.
Reagan Elizabeth Aller.
Joshua Jacob Nelson.
Nora James Onken.
Kyle Ian Nelson.
Fiona Marie Padone.
Delaney Paige Penner.
Kaya Jane Rapp.
Ryan Jackson Peterson.
Umaima Rahim.
Kira Morin Pecci.
John Joseph Randolph.
John Michael Pinelli.
Trent Michael Reese.
Anthony Michael Pinelli.
Jason Christopher Rodman.
Kirsten Gwynn Popovich.
Evelyn Rose Rodriguez.
Zachary William Pover.
Gabriela Leilani Rodriguez.
Mary Elizabeth Powell.
Noah Henry Ross.
Amodini Ravindra Punakar.
Natalie Reese Saratella.
Abraham Eduardo Salazar.
Trevor Daniel Scher.
Tristan James Samuelian.
Faisal Shahab Siddiqui.
John Anthony Sanders.
Raul Cifuentes.
Manuel Mateo Santiago.
Mason Jeffrey Skoll.
Sarah Ann Schambeck.
Bria Shauna Smith.
Gerald William Schroeder.
Jaden David Smith.
Amanda Jean Schultz.
Rihanna R. Sony.
David Lane Scott.
Cooper Robert Teets.
Carly Ella Searles.
Wyatt Gary Teets.
Kyle Stephen Springer.
Kara McKenna Noel Thompson.
Matthew Wesley Spurlock.
Caitlin Marie Toms.
Jacob Darius Staniak.
Jonathan Robert Ty.
Abigail Rose Stoneman.
Gavin Tanner Underhill.
Jackson Gerard Stoneman.
Bianca Marie Urdaneta.
Reina Sandara.
Alejandro Uribe.
Tyler Sandara.
Ashley Sierra Walker.
Rebecca Carice Swanson.
Alyssa Michelle Warpahowski.
Evan Robert Swartz.
Megan Christine Watwood.
Erin Nicole Van Buren.
Ilana Elizabeth Denise Wells.
Jake Vanos.
Dylan James Wilmington.
Lainey Vasquez.
Mark Daniel Wisniewski.
Sean Patrick Bichuaka.
Aaron Joseph Wojciechowski.
Jocelyn Victoria.
Hope Catherine Wojciechowski.
Alyssa Bibi Valaylock.
Lauren Emily Zwemke.
Sarah Jean Voss.
Eric Randall Young.
Tyler Jacob Wagner.
Dean Christopher Kogos.
Rachel Jean Waldron.
Carolyn Ann Davis.
Gavin Granville Woolman. Jackson Robert Ray. Colin Robert Roble. Mackenzie Ellen Young. Sonia Zadie. Star Rena Zaldivar. Malik Ayman Zayed. Zane Peyton Zeiker. Sophia Noreen Wojciechowski. Tracy Rodriguez. Cole Paul Haggard.
How about a big round of applause for Mr. Groom and Mr. Semen? Thank you very much. Central High School graduates, please rise. Move your tassels to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduating class of 2021 Central High School.
Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. And although this wave is stringing us along, just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear. The trouble it might drag you down. You get lost, you get
All right, at this time I ask our graduates, please retake your seats. I want to say thank you to our Central community for joining us this evening to celebrate our graduating class. At this time, our ceremony is complete, and we invite you to safely exit to your vehicles. We will begin distributing graduation materials to our graduates, and after distributing these materials, we will release graduates to exit the arena out of door 4. Thank you, and have a great evening. Seniors, please take your seats so we can get you your envelopes. Your parents will be waiting for you out in the vehicles. Please take your seats at this time.
'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
All right, seniors, you did a great job tonight. Thank you very much. That was awesome. Go ahead and take your seats, and we'll go ahead and get you your envelopes just as quickly as we can.